Demons and how to get rid of them. This is unfortunately a subject I know a lot about because I inherited many of them. Now, what are demons? So, you are a human being. And when you are born and you experience this life, you are conditioned. You're born love, but then you're conditioned by your parents, by your teachers, by your peers, by your church, by everything. And every time someone bullies, belittles, condescends, all that stuff, I like to say dehumanization. So when someone dehumanizes you, that is them taking their poison, their demon, and projecting it onto you. And instead of you understanding that that is a projection of them, you might think and believe it. Oh, I must be bad. Oh, I must be ugly. Oh, I must not be good enough. Oh, I must not be worthy of love. So you're conditioned with all of these things that were projected onto you through your family that received those projections from their ancestors. And all of that went all the way down to you. So you received the demons of thy ancestors. And what are those demons? Quite simply, not love. And what is not love? It is illusion. So not love is essentially fear. And fear creates its own entity. So here's you, and you are born unconditional love. And then you were programmed with control that came from fear and created patterns within you that are literally like a demon in your head. The Toltecs called it the mitote, which creates a parasite because it's all these negative things that you sponged up as a little kid or throughout your life and you took on as your identity. And then when we experience these things in other people, it triggers those poison in that wound. And we attract these experiences. We attract the demons that match the demons in us. Or, as I like to say, pattern. It's not really a demon. It's a demon pattern. And you can change the pattern and name it for what it is. Demon pattern. It is a fear-based pattern. But this fear feeds off of us like a parasite. And it literally is like a demon in your head, in your mind, controlling you rather than you being in control. And when you are actually in control, you are operating from a place of unconditional love. Because we came into a fear control based reality. And that is all everybody knows. So everyone is operating from fear and control, which is not love, not power. So what is power to the people? It is loving each other, compassion, no matter what. And it is love for ourselves, number one. So how to get rid of the demon is by being aware of it. So this person must become aware of their heart, of their feelings. So masculine is awareness. We are in awareness. And that awareness is a lot of fear, right? And that creates hell inside of us. But it's really in our brains. It's in our brains because of all these patterns. Now, when we start listening to our heart that has a different narrative, or if we want to be dramatic, we can say the fear demon parasite is speaking prophecy into your mind. And what is that prophecy? It's a false one. You were given a false prophecy, a false identity when you were born if you experience demon patterns of not love. And not love is born from shame and fear and anger and hatred and neglect and everything that is not love that was passed down because we really were born into a world of sin. That's what they are talking about when they talk about that. But basically, it is fear, it is negativity, it is dehumanization. It is not reverence for the full human being, which is your feelings and your body and your mind and your energy and your soul and your connection to spirit. Those are the 6 bodies that are you. You're not just like a person. You are a bunch of bodies. You have an energy body, a feeling body, and all of them, all of the ones that I just said, they're all important. So when we are going through dehumanization, that is the demon taking your energy like a parasite. And it feels painful. But you have this option because you have a demon on your shoulder and an angel on your shoulder. And let's just say it's not even on your shoulder. You have the truth in your heart, which is different from the narrative in your mind. And it is your job to go into your heart and continue to listen to that over and over in your mind. Now, when you are triggered by something, rather than responding to it like we normally would, because we are, responding from our pain and our fear and our trauma. And this is very much like being filled with poison. And in relationships, this is when it blows up the most, because when your body is filled up with the poison of this trauma that is passed down, it is like a poison, and they project it onto the next. So we inherit this poison. And the only thing that we can do to get rid of it is to literally let it out. We have to let the poison out. And when you let the poison out, it is painful. But what happens is when you let it out, when you let it go, when you look at it and witness it and understand it, and then can let it go, the gift that you receive is the part of yourself that was limited by that belief that you inherited, that you're not good enough, that you're not capable, that you're not smart enough. All of those things, that you're not worthy of love. Those are false narratives, and unfortunately, we live them throughout our lives, and it becomes very painful. But once we see the pattern in our lives, because we are only experiencing ourselves, and the only thing we have control over is choosing love or being in despair with fear. And as you go through it, it can be very extreme if you have a heavy amount of trauma, or it may be easier. It just depends on what your experience is. But what you are doing is you're moving out of this. And then you are operating in your full consciousness. and you don't have all this shit. In fact, you're just clear-minded, and it's like this is a crown. This is your crown, your crown. Now you are connected to the divine because you are connected to your heart, and your sacred mind and your heart are one. And that is when the light within you, your life force, the spirit and soul, like the DNA inside of you, activates completely and shoots out like light and love. And that is what you put out into the world now. And that is what you experience, because now you are changing the way you see the world, because you let go of your demons by looking at them in the face and not being afraid, and owning the fact that they are yours now. It's not fair, but you got them. But you know, the cool thing is, every demon pattern that you change and release, because you literally release it when you choose unconditional love. Okay, I see you. You're a demon pattern. You're not me. I am not that. That demon, that pattern, is not me. It doesn't have to be true. In fact, it's not true. It's an illusion, because the demon is the liar. It's the liar in your mind that makes you forget who you are. And when you forget who you are, which is love, it is very painful. And you always feel separate. And happiness and joy is not with you, because it is the life force inside of you that you're cut off from. And that life force, unleashed, unchained, when you let go of all the attachments and all the conditions for which you need to forgive and heal, and you just forgive and heal and work on that for yourself, for love for yourself. And love for yourself is love for all, is love for your life, is love for humanity. Unfortunately, and fortunately, we're the only ones who can heal ourselves, and we also have the power to heal ourselves. But it does come with feeling your pain and having to go inward and be able to witness and see and look at the truth within us. Try to decipher the demon from who you truly are, the demon from God, the lies from the truth, the not love from the love. And all of this is the true you, and all of this is the false you. It is the devil, is what they call it. But it truly is the separator. It separates you, and it's a smoke and mirrors. So it's like, creates like a smoke and mirrors effect. And you can't see beyond it because it's in your mind. It's clouding your mind and your ability to flow and create and be joyful and see through the eyes of love. And that's the demon. So it's in our minds, and that hurts in our bodies because our minds are like the gods of ourselves. We have to choose, and we have to become conscious of choosing to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we feel good. And when we don't love ourselves, we don't feel good. So it's really not about anything that happens outside of ourselves, because we don't control the world. We only control ourselves. By listening to our hearts, we don't let the demon control our minds. Because this has inherited conditions. But there is no conditions for which you need to be loved, or in love your life, or enjoy yourself, or love yourself. There are no conditions. And when there are no conditions for love, that is true love. That is unconditional love, and that is the true life. That is the truth. That is what life really is. So your demons are literally sifting and sorting through those lies in the mitote or the smoke and mirrors in your head. And that can be very challenging if you grew up or experienced heavy abuse. But it is navigatable, and then it becomes a superpower. Everyone can heal from anything. You just have to choose literally the power of God within you. Choose God, choose love, choose the fact that you are power itself. You are the source of creation. You take your power back from codependency and fear, and you start shooting out your new choices, your new beliefs, Neo. And you reject those limiting beliefs because they're just an old consciousness, and you evolved out of them, because we're here to evolve and expand, and that's what life is. And in that evolution and expansion is when we feel the most alive. And that expansion will bring us on a journey. And that's what life is supposed to be. That's when we're living. We're living when we're not boxed in by fear. So it is our job to move in and through that fear, because the fear, aka demon, aka parasite, aka liar, aka punisher, that voice in our head is not real. And we have the power to change it, to point it out, be like, I see you. You're not true. And as you go through your stuff and be like, you're not true, you start to see the truth of who you are. Because as you keep going through your feelings and your demon patterns and your experiences, and you see they will be triggered in your reality, and you will see stuff that doesn't align with who you really are. And rather than making it the enemy, you say, that's not me. That's it. That's not me. I let it go, and then I choose me, and I go do me. And we have forgotten ourselves because we're so busy maybe neglecting or punishing ourselves that a lot of people don't really know what they love or want to do with their lives or their passions or their dreams, because they're clouded. They're clouded by all of this programming that we all inherited in a codependent reality where masculine dominated the feminine, and the feminine is our heart and feelings, because that is the best way to disempower someone. This is where all your power comes from. So in a way, we can look at it as this grand game of expanding in consciousness past our limiting beliefs and self-doubts and fears and hatred and resentments and all of that stuff. It becomes almost like a consciousness expanding every time you figure something out within you and you heal yourself or you love yourself more, and you just continue to expand. But that expansion requires growing pains. Because in order to understand ourselves, we must go within and understand why we feel the way we do. And then decipher if that is any true for us anymore. Because anything that doesn't resonate with you and is painful, turns out it's not true. Because everything that resonates with you is true. And if you want to make stuff that doesn't resonate with you true, then you make that your God. Love in here in your heart is God. And then there's the devil, fear, the parasite, the patterns, whatever. And we made that our God for like thousands of years. We made this external thing. It's within us. So that's not real. It's not real. So anyways, that's how you get rid of your demons.